Okay, time for another review. And look, this might be one of my favorite episodes from the season so far. I am a little biased though, because Kim is my favorite character, and finally giving me another flashback is all I ever wanted. So let's start from there. We start the scene focusing on Kim's anxiety, just like we had a shot in episode 4 of this season, but the context there is that she was anxious but also very excited. So maybe this is also telling us that that child Kim was also excited about what she's told. But the whole point here is that she went out of her way to steal. This should really make it clear that Kim is not being corrupted by Jimmy in any way, shape or form. She was always like this. It's like the same with Walter, for example. Exact moment that he became Heisenberg or that he was corrupted by his environment to be Heisenberg. It was always there lurking, and he just let it out, slowly and over time. With Kim it's the same, but there's a catch. The moment she was caught and her mother is called, I think she was fine with being told that she was in the wrong and that she should feel the repercussions of her actions.
Nip it in the bud. I mean, protecting her from the consequences of her own actions.
Her words here really stuck to Kim because she really believes what she says here. It's why Kim, as an adult, makes it clear that her actions are her own and she should take the consequences of her actions alone.
I crossed 3 lanes of traffic and I don't remember any of it.
Look, you were just doing what you thought you had to do. Because of me.
You didn't make me get in that car, that was all me. I'm an adult. I made a choice.
But as we later see in the flashback, her mother was just lying. Not only that, but she also took this as an opportunity to steal an earring and give it to her. This breaks her heart. Now, the reason why is very vague, but you can see that she's holding her mother's hand here, and her mother is very surprised because I believe she always saw her own child as very mature and independent, so seeing this needy behavior comes as a surprise.
You were drinking?
Kimmy, it was 1 beer.
Doesn't smell like 1 beer.
Well, that's what it was. So, let's go. Get in.
I'm just gonna walk.
And when she reveals that she was just lying and also takes her hand away from Kim, we focus on her disappointed face. I feel like Kim wanted to be in the wrong here. She made something wrong, knowing it's wrong, and her mother, which is an authority figure in her life, should have punished her. She knows that's the right thing that should be done, but it isn't. So it just makes her worldview become more vague and hard to grasp, because not only does she want to do bad stuff, but she also gets rewarded for doing bad stuff. But at the same time, she doesn't want to become like her mother, which is why we see her as a very upstanding lawyer in the future. But eventually she starts getting back to that sleeping Kimmy side of hers when she gets more and more involved with Jimmy. So we have a very complex character here, but I feel like I can't exactly say I understand her completely because there is one small last piece of the puzzle missing, and I don't know if the writers will give that to us, or if they will leave it up to interpretation. But I believe that since this moment here, we see in the flashback, she understood that she only gets love and attention when she cons people, when she does bad stuff, and she's doing that with Jimmy now because she wants to keep him instead of moving away from him. This also explains her decision in the final scene of the episode. In the final scene of the episode, we see 2 roads, which is a very clear symbolism with the mic conversation we had in the last season. The good road choice and the bad road choices. Kim is initially moving in the right direction, but then she breaks all the rules and just changes to the other road, which goes backwards. Which can be a very symbolic way of showcasing that she's regressing to her childhood. In the road that she was before, she would be getting away from Jimmy, because she would be becoming even more of an upstanding and professional lawyer. It's also everything she ever needed and ever wanted, at least in her mind. But she was lying to herself, really. Because she was giving her everything she needed, right? She would be able to continue her pro bono, and she would get all the money she ever needed, all the financing, all the support, but she doesn't do it. I think there's 2 reasons. First one is Jimmy, she doesn't want to get away from him, she wants to go even deeper and deeper in this. And the second reason is because she wants to get caught or experience the adrenaline of almost getting caught. The last line we see in the flashback of Kim is her mother saying, "You got away. So relax, kiddo, you got away." In the 4th episode of this season, Jimmy says that to her.
Alright. Listen to the voice of experience, okay? You know why you're feeling like this? Because we got away with it. It seems too good to be true.
She was feeling guilty and paranoid in that moment, thinking she was being followed by the police. And then Jimmy says that, and she calms down. So I can see this going either way here. She wants to do the plan today, because she wants the adrenaline of breaking the law, cheating the system and still getting away from it, just like she got away with it in her childhood thanks to her mother. Or she wants to get caught because she feels guilty deep down. But anyway, that's enough of that. I get really carried away with the Kim stuff. On to the next scene, which is Howard. So, the cute thing here is that he makes the peace symbol in the cup, but then his wife just comes in and ruins it. That should tell you everything here. But I feel like the scene is setting up something, because he warns her that she might see or hear something in regards to him, and that she shouldn't mind it because he's going to deal with it. So we are definitely going to get more about his relationship with his wife here. Probably in the next episode. Continuing with the Howard stuff, I feel like he's being manipulated. When he's talking to the PA investigator, he finds out that there is just one moment where Jimmy broke his routine and went to the bank to get $20,000 in cash. Now I feel like Jimmy and Kim knows they are being followed and watched. They just feel too relaxed about all this. And it also explains their plan, which we will get to in a second, but keep that in mind. So this scene here with the vet, I think it's very interesting that he talks about knowing his limits and that he wants to quit the shady business. Jimmy doesn't understand, or at least he doesn't want to understand, but Kim does, because this guy knows what he wants. He knows what he wants and he knows who he is. Then we cut to Kim talking with Cliff in the following scene, which is where she gets tested. This scene here basically sets up the final scene of the episode, where she has to choose the good choice or the bad choice. And here, Cliff gives her a very clear way of achieving her good choice road. But just like the vet guy in the previous scene, she knows who she is. She's Sleepy Kimmy. The Lalo stuff is very straightforward. I feel like we will end the next episode with him coming back to the US after getting the information about where the lab is located and what's the purpose of it. But there is one thing in this scene, or actually in the transition to this scene, because the previous scene here was between Jimmy and Kim kissing. But then we have a hard cut with this German worker cutting the wood in half. This might just be foreshadowing from the directors about Jimmy and Kim separating after D-Day, which is tomorrow, when their plan will be put in action. So what's their plan, you might say? Well, I think I got it. Jimmy in this episode talks with Francesca to make her make a phone call so she can figure out the day and the place where they will be talking about the Sandpiper case. So when he gets this information, he has everything he needs. All the preparations are done. And what are the preparations? Well, remember when I said that he knows that Howard is probably following him, or hired someone to follow him? That's why he makes this one dude here look like the judge from the Sandpiper case. And then later, in the last scene of the episode, we see many photos taken. Jimmy's idea here is for Howard to think that he's going to use the $20,000 that he got from the bank, that his PA investigator already told Howard, to pay off this judge, this mediator of the Sandpiper case, to settle down. Then, as we see in the vet scene with the amphetamine that he's buying, he will probably put that in Howard's coffee to get him more agitated. All of this will make him seem crazy when he starts talking about how Jimmy is bribing the judge. And since Cliff already thinks he's a drug addict, he's only going to see this scene as more proof of that, which will ruin Howard's reputation forever and probably make the Sandpiper case be settled down. This might just spell a lot of problems for Howard, since we already know that his personal life is not going so well. So if you ruin his professional life as well, well, that might just make him, I don't know, kill himself. This might be a reach here, but it's possible. A man here to watch out for Dan, which is smart, but he might be underestimating Lalo, because if he manages to get into his house undetected, he might just discover about Mike's family and go after them. But again, I will be making a video on this later, so if you are interested in that, please consider subscribing. That's it. Bye!